On one hand, there's a looming humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where it is a daily struggle for food and essentials. These are people trapped between the battle lines, in the war between Hamas and Israel. Aid groups say mass hunger is spreading. And on the other hand, there's Israel that says the battle against Hamas will go on. And Prime Minister Netanyahu claims Gazans are not starving.
Israel is presented as though we are applying a campaign of starvation in Gaza. What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
In the face of international pressure, Israel has allowed a pause in fighting in 3 areas of Gaza. Al-Mawasi, a designated humanitarian area along the coast, Deir al-Balah in central Gaza, and in Gaza City to the north. Israel has agreed to pause military activity daily in these 3 areas from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time. The Israeli military says designated secure routes for convoys delivering food and medicines will also be in place for 17 hours. That is, from 6 in the morning till 11 at night. Israel accuses Hamas of stealing aid to fund its war against the Israeli state, and then discrediting its enemy by spreading misinformation.
We enable humanitarian aid throughout the duration of the war to enter Gaza, otherwise there would be no Gazans. And what has interdicted the supply of humanitarian aid is one force, Hamas. Again, the reversal of truth. Hamas robs, steals this humanitarian aid, and then accuses Israel of not supplying it.
Gaza's health ministry says dozens have died of malnutrition recently. That makes it over 130 hunger deaths, the bulk of them children. On Sunday, Jordan and the UAE airdropped 25 tons of food aid and humanitarian supplies. Over 100 truckloads of aid have been collected from crossings to be transported into Gaza. Agencies say getting aid into the troubled enclave has been a problem. Now, Israel says aid agencies will have no excuses left.
Well, we've enabled the amount required by international law to come in. There are hundreds and hundreds of trucks loaded with tons. So far, we've supplied 1.9 million tons of food since the beginning of the war. Almost 2 million tons. And now we have hundreds of trucks that are waiting on the Gazan side of the Kerem Shalom crossing. And it's international organizations, some of them very well intended. And it's the UN too. Food that they purchased. And we said, go ahead, deliver it. And they said we can't, because combat is going on. And we say, yes, but combat, we'll fight. Where we're fighting, we'll continue to fight. But there are safe corridors. You can bring the food to anywhere you want. That is not a problem. So we've just announced that formally. Here are safe corridors. And the UN has no excuses left.
The Israeli government has regulated aid into Gaza in phases and has now agreed to a tactical pause. But Netanyahu is clear about his end objective.
We'll continue to fight till we achieve the release of our hostages and the destruction of Hamas's military and governing capabilities. They shall be there no more.